Protocol has already been established. Teachers, I want you to put out your phone and your gadgets. That would never happen to us this year, maybe what happened to us last year, where our speech never go live. So we're not taking chance even with the camera crews in front here. Make sure you have your phone and all your gadgets and everything out. Now this time. Don't play with the Grenada Union of Teachers. Never again. On behalf of the Grenada Union of Teachers, I extend fraternal May Day greetings to the Grenada Trades Union Council, trade union organization, the working class and hard-working peoples throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, the Caribbean region, and all over the world. And of course, not forgetting the most hard-working, dedicated, patriotic, respected, influential, committed, powerful, and impactful trade union organization in the history of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and in the Caribbean region, the Grenada Union of Teachers. Somebody make some noise! For not only the past 50 years, but for the past 100 years, and going strong, and still going strong. Teachers, let me hear you. Whether we match first or we match last, GUT will always be the number one in the class. And whether we speak first or we speak last, GUT is boss. Put it in your pipe and smoke it, or in your tea and drink it. But believe it, the Grenada Union of Teachers would always be the number one trade union organization in the land. The most impactful, the most powerful for the past 50 years and for the next 50 years to come. The GUT applauds the Trade Union Council for the theme they have chosen for May Day 2024 as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Grenada's independence. This theme is timely, patriotic, and visionary. It recognizes and affirms the significance, importance, and invaluable contribution of labor, the trade union movement, and ordinary working class men and women, citizens of our nation, in building, shaping, transforming Grenada to what it is today. Think about Grenada 50 or 100 years ago. The landscape, working conditions, living standards, wages, to what it is today. It was the GUT and the labor movement that brought it, that led the way. Whether in government, private or public sector, in education, nation building, it was the working class people, the trade union movement, both union and non-unionized workers that helped to build Grenada and bring Grenada where it is today, and to march and forge ahead for the next 50 years to come. Labor power, workers' power, teachers' power as we build and transform Grenada. And that is why government, business establishment, both private and public sector, must have some respect and appreciation for teachers and labor. The trade union movement, the working class, and treat teachers and workers with respect and dignity, pay and treat teachers and workers fairly and justly. In fact, there is no Grenada without labor and the working class. Labor in developing our country, labor in building Grenada's economy, labor in transforming the lives of working class men and women, job security, upward mobility, financial security, and stability. Labor a strong voice for the oppressed, victimized, marginalized, both union and non-unionized. Labor, the trade union movement, defending and protecting the political, democratic rights and freedoms of citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique from the blatant abuse, unfair and unjust labor practices by governments and business establishment. Think for a moment, teachers and workers are treated badly, unfairly, and unjustly now today. What would it be like for workers without the GUT and the trade union movement for the next 50 years to come? We dead. Workers dead. Slavery again. They're taking away our bread. According to Clarence Darrow, and I quote, with all the faults, trade unions have done more for humanity than any other organization of men that ever existed. They have done more for decency, for honesty, for education, for betterment of race, for the development of character in men and women than any other association of men. Know that I have congratulated labor and the trade union movement for their invaluable contribution to Grenada for the past 50 years. It would be a great injustice and unforgivable sin of mine to teachers and the duty if I fail to put on record here today the invaluable and unblemished and sacrificial contribution of the Grenada Union of Teachers and its members for the past 50 years to education and nation building. The Grenada Union of Teachers have always been that special group that jumps into the fire and faces the firing squad in the heat of industrial battles for social and economic justice. Think about it, whether political, social, educational, financial, is the duty that always rescue workers in this country. Pension, dark salary, we prove it already. Teachers don't just bellow and melt like jello. We face the heat and march on the street. The government of Grenada, Ministry of Education, and the citizens must recognize, appreciate, and applaud the invaluable contribution of teachers in education. Teachers shape, touch, and transform lives in education and in nation building. Teachers don't just talk, but we walk the walk and march the street for social and economic justice, not only for teachers, but for all workers, even those that lambaste us publicly, including those that stays in the corridors of the various ministries and wait for us when we are marching the street. We fight for them also. Without duty, government and private sector having workers bazooed in this country. We educate the politicians and feed them so much in school that they turn around and play the fool. So I'll continue here. They could cut style on us, even in the education ministry. They could cut style on us and treat teachers badly. Once they reach the ministry, their heads swell already. Teachers in misery. And don't talk about those who serve teachers, even from the other union. They take teachers like trash from the garbage can. But today, teachers, they stop this in the ministry. Put an end to it quickly. Otherwise, they're going to feel the heat when teachers start to march on the street. The duty 50 years old, solid foundation in education, nation building, sports and culture, defending democracy, strong advocate against social and economic justice, and a strong voice for the Grenadian citizenry. The duty for the past 50 years, a strong voice of hope in Grenada. So now we're going to express thanks from the Grenada Union of Teachers to the government, this administration, and to past administration. For the past 50 years is not only this administration, but we look at NGM, we look at TNP, we look at NDC, we look at NNP, and all the other administration that served Grenada for the past 50 years. And we say thanks for all the sacrifice and all those things, even when we had to fight for it, march on the street, and all that we had to do to get it. But they did really and truly do what they have to do, and we are thankful. Today, but I must put on record here today our deepest appreciation and gratitude to this administration, the man with a big and generous heart for teachers, workers in the labor movement, the poor working class peoples, the ordinary men and women of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimatnik, this present Prime Minister and his cabinet, for all the love and all the things that they have done for teachers and for the working class people of this country to improve our standard of living. Teachers and workers, as you can see, in just 2 years that this new administration came into office, and in just a short space of time, they have done more for teachers and workers than all the administration combined. Come on, teachers, let me hear you. Don't be afraid. Teachers' power in Grenada. The new administration is setting the standard to improve the lives and standard of living for teachers and public officers ordinary working class men and women in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Matnik. And we say thanks. We say thanks to this administration for this pension. It's going nice. And when it's going nice, you do it twice. Come and put your hands together. For salary increase for 2024, this new administration, in January, they pay it already. Put your hands together. For the ex-gratia payment of 25% from this administration, we say thank you very much. But as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Grenada's independence, everything 50. So this December, we want 50%, no 25%. Come and put your hands together. And we acknowledge here today, we really and truly appreciate what the ministers of government did for themselves in increasing their salaries in the budget presentation for both government and for the opposition. Put your hands together. But we will never forget that. So when the next negotiation, we ask some more because we remember what you did before. Come on, we're getting hot. And nobody pass around for time. This is my time. Nobody pass around for time. This is my time. The regularization of teachers. We say thanks to this administration for regularizing 111 teachers. We say thank you very much. Put your hands together. But we still have a problem there. We still have a problem with regularization. We call on this new administration not only to regularize teachers, but all public officers. We want regularization for all. And we also heard it is very unfair and unjust for teachers and public officers to be temporary and contract work some 10, 15, 8 years, and to get really and truly they did not get the full compensation for all these years. And that is a grievance and that is a pain for all of us. So we ask for complete compensation for regularization for teachers and public officers going forward. We also put on record here that we want all our temporary teachers, even those without mathematics for teaching for all these years, to be regularized and to be made permanent. And we call for all temporary teachers to get the opportunity to go to Teachers College for 2024-2025. We're keeping it alive. Come on, Brother Andre Lewis. You're sitting down in front. Put your hands together. You're right in front. All right, so we're coming down. The regularization of teachers, fringe benefits, the upgrading for primary and secondary school principals. So we're still having that, the upgrading. The Ministry of Education and the government of Grenada, for months now, they say they're upgrading the principals, and that is a hard feelings here. A sour grape for teachers. Remember, it is the teachers and others who voted for change, and the ministry have to rearrange. Teachers' priority in this country. Let's get it straight. Temporary, you have principals who really and truly should receive their upgrades since January. Since January, we're waiting. February, the ministry said this month. March, they said the next month. April, the next month. Enough is enough. And we have a problem here. Principals here, we want you to listen. I see Brother Kenny James here. Because the principals listen to the Ministry of Education first before they listen to the Grenada Union of Teachers. And it seems that we have a battle here to come. And what we observe, this is a serious thing here, brothers and sisters. For what reason that these principals, after all these months, did not get the upgrade from grade H to I and J? So we calling on the Minister for Education. I see him right here. We approach him how many times? No, I don't want a finger. I want to pay the principal better. That's what we want. We don't want the finger. Pay the principals better. That's what we want, and faster. So we're calling on the Honorable Prime Minister of Grenada, and we're calling on Honorable David Andrew to get together. As right, you're going to feel the heat on the street with the Grenada Union of Teachers, because we're not making jokes. So put on record, that is going on for too long. And that is a vexatious issue for the Grenada Union of Teachers and for principal, and total disrespect. Come on, I have some time to go still. But But this no, brother David Adams, sit down in your seat. You didn't come here for anybody else. This is my time. You did not come here for anybody else. This is my time. Compensation for the marking of CPA, SBA, CCLC, and CPA. All right, compensation. This new administration, make sure that benefit was secure for all of us. Restoring Teachers College to full-time studies from this administration again. So this year, teachers, and we're calling them for temporary teachers to get the opportunity to go to Teachers College also. The school feeding program. The school feeding program is a very good program, but no consultation. No consultation with GUT, no consultation with teachers or principals. So while it is a good program, you must put all the foundational things in such. Schools have to build their infrastructure to feed everybody in school. And while we talk about the school feeding program, it's incumbent upon us as the Grenada Union of Teachers to talk about the situation with cooks and cleaners in school. Common Ministry of Education and Government of Grenada. That matter has been going for too long. The cooks in school, those who feed the politicians and make them fat like a hospital rat, and now they come back today and they don't want to really pay them. We call on you to pay the cleaners and the workers justly and fairly. Time release for teachers. We don't understand what is going on in the Ministry of Education. Time release for teachers to study. You want teachers basically to go and study, to do their degree, and when it's time release, you don't want to give them. Sit down there, Brother Adams. You have to wait for a little while. More training opportunities, negative reports and teachers foil. We say no to that. So we're coming down. Teachers voted for change, not to be oppressed again. Teachers are hurting and have lost confidence in the Ministry of Education and in others for what is taking place there. The Grenada Union of Teachers puts on record the frustration and the disappointment, although this new administration have done some good for teachers and for workers. We put on record here, our grievances is not so much in totality with the new administration, but our frustration in the Ministry of Education. We thought that this whole situation would have gone a long time ago, but it seems that it's coming like a recurring decimal. I don't want to say today that we lost confidence in the Minister for Education because he's a good man. But if that continues, next year time around, I'm going to say it. Brother David Andrew, do what you have to do. NIS old age pension, NIS pension reform. Now I hear the government is talking about pension reform. The Grenada Union of Teachers and all the other unions march on the street. We do everything that we can to restore pension to teachers and public officers, and we're not going to lose it. I just want to make that clearly. We're going to secure it, not only for us, but for generations of teachers and public officers to come. So we're making it very clear to us, whether a teacher comes in now, a teacher comes in 15 or 20 or 30 years from now, pension is a constitutional matter and it should be there for our teachers. Pension reform should be for the Imanis and non-established workers who cooks and other persons justly and fairly should get a pension when they're going home. But we're going to watch it because basically we're not going to accept it. Our lawyer is close at hand watching pension reform. NIS, we have a problem with NIS. This retirement at age 60 and basically getting your old age benefit of NIS at 65 from 2024. 61, 5%, 62, 10% penalty, 63, 15%, 64, 20%, 65, 25%. That is wrong. This administration corrected the injustice and secure pension for us. We cannot allow NIS to bring back teachers and workers in old age penalty, in old age pension poverty. NIS pension basically is our integrity and worker security. And we're calling on the NDC administration and NS to really and truly to fix it, because teachers want to be alive at age 65. Come on, I'm coming down, I'm coming to the end. Social and economic justice issue that must receive better wages and better security of tenure. Who is the boss there? So we call on to fix those things for the cooks and other bosses in school, as we say. Proverbs chapter 14, verses 31. He who oppresses the poor taunts his maker, but he who is generous to the needy honors him. Let me say it again. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 31. He who oppresses the poor, the cooks, the cleaners in schools and hospitals and other places, he who oppresses the poor taunts his maker, but he who is generous to the needy honors him. So we call for better wages for nurses. As Brother Grimes says, I'm happy to know that all nurses and persons are really and truly getting salary increases, because I have it here. We don't only speak for teachers, we speak for all workers. Samuel Campbell said, the trade union movement represents the organized economic power of worker. It is in reality the most potent and the most direct social insurance that all workers have. Let us protect the labor movement as we continue to fight for social and economic justice for the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique. The Grenada Union of Teachers and its members give the assurance to the government of Grenada, Ministry of Education, parents, students, and citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique of its unwavering support and commitment to education and nation building for the next 50 years to come. We ask government, public and private sector to give teachers, public officers, and all workers, and to give us this day our daily bread, and not the crumbs that is left on the master's table. That all contract work for teachers and public officers must come to an end, and that social and economic justice will flow in Grenada like water flows in the land. That the poor and the ordinary people of this country will be adequately taken care of, are coming to the end. That non-unionized workers will be treated justly and fairly in both private and public sectors. That productivity and punctuality and prosperity will be the order of the day by all workers, including teachers. And that the trade union movement will continue to be a strong voice and a force to be reckoned with to advance the cause of labor and working class men and women for the next 50 years to come. Long live the trade union movement. Long live the working class people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique. Long live the Grenada Union of Teachers. And we pray that all peoples in Grenada must receive some credits, including Sheldon Scott.